Hey guys, we are here for episode number 1 of the Asphalt and Apps podcast. I'm Hayden. This is Zach. We run a contracting business based out of Denver, Colorado. Zach's the owner of it. It's called National Pavement Partners. Through that, we also started a mobile app company for property managers and contractors as well, called Spot On Site. So we're kind of bridging the gap of the construction and technology space, and we have a lot of good, helpful tips and pointers that we want to bring out and help other contractors kind of raise the game. So that's what our whole podcast is going to be about. So, I'm excited to jump into this and
me too.
See where it goes. But, we were kind of talking briefly about our mission and what's the whole objective with starting a podcast besides, getting views? What in your opinion is the reason why we're doing this?
I think for us, it's raising awareness to our clients, to our competitors in the space, and other contractors as well too that really need help. I feel like contracting is generally labeled as blue collar, and so with blue collar comes a little bit of a stigma, one of which is being a little bit behind or kind of stuck in their ways, so to speak, where it's the good old boys. And I think as time has progressed over the last 10 years or so, we've seen so many changes, from the social media aspect to technology to even equipment. We've got self-driving cars now. We've got pieces of equipment that are GPS related that can get down to fine granite. And so us kind of bringing everything full circle and raising awareness from a customer aspect and a contractor side helps bring up the industry standard. And I think that's really the goal for what we're trying to accomplish. What do you think?
Yeah, like you said, raising the industry standard. And I think, since I've been in the space and even taking an outside step at looking at contracting as a whole, it's not looked upon as it's almost a negative association with being a contractor. You hear, oh, my contractor did this, my contractor was late, my contractor couldn't get it done on time, they charged me this price to get it done. There's a lot of negatives already in the contracting space, and so we already talked about having the black eye, but for us, we're in the asphalt paving industry, which is like 2 black eyes, double black eye.
Exactly. You get the gypsies
space
that are coming through, the gypsies that everyone talks about, the fly-by-night companies that are always, hey, I've got some extra asphalt, I got some extra sealer, let me seal your parking lot or your driveway. And everyone's got, same thing with roofs.
Take your money.
Those horror stories. Yep.
Absolutely. So, there's already a lot of bad stigma associated with, what industry we're in. But we've seen success personally through National Pavement Partners by taking a different approach.
Absolutely.
And like you said, raising the standard. We raised our standards on all aspects, from initial point of contact with speed, proposal presentation, communication. Obviously our product speaks for itself, but we became almost kind of a well-rounded company, and which is why we've seen a ton of growth. And I truly feel like we have a lot of things that we can help out other contractors looking to scale like we have.
Absolutely. Yep. When we first started NPP, the idea was, okay, this company is going to be bigger than what we can self-perform, because we know the need for communication, good contracting, good workmanship, transparency was lacking so much. If we could put together a tool or a process that collaborates everybody from the field to the customer, that incorporates photos, pictures, videos.
Yep.
We knew that, okay, we're not always going to be able to self-perform this type of stuff, but we also knew that there were good contractors in the space that could perform good work. They lacked on communication, they didn't have the right project management. And so if we were able to project manage the jobs right, make sure that customers were getting what we were speccing, adding some technology to it as well too, then that brings the gap a little bit better, brings it closer. And like you said, we've been able to round everything out. So now we've got self-performing crews, we've got a lot of subs that work underneath us. We call it our certified partner network.
Yep.
So we vet them, we make sure that they're a good company, make sure that they carry the right insurances, but then we act as an extension of their team and them of ours as well too. And it's been a good model for us, and I think there's a lot to be said for it.
Yeah, and not only on the production and sales side of it, but we've learned a lot from the back end side of it. So we're one of the, I would like to say, one of the louder contractors in the space when it comes to marketing.
Yeah.
A lot of contractors are missing marketing, missing stuff like SEO, and paying companies to help them out with that. And then, like social media has been huge for us as well. So we're trying to lead industries and lead the construction space to becoming more tech friendly, more ahead of the game, because supposedly I've heard the stats like contracting is 10 to 15 years behind all other industries.
Yep.
So we need to change that standard, and hopefully we can lead the way in becoming that.
Yeah. Yep. I agree with you 100%. And a lot of people, a lot of other contractors in the space might think that's odd, because people might say, well, why are you giving away your game plan, or why are you giving away free game to your competitors? To me, I personally feel like if we're all raising the bar together, that brings the industry standard up.
Yep.
Which brings better quality, better margins, brings awareness up, so we can get people on better cycles, and ultimately, help a lot of people as well.
Yeah, and I think the end result of that is you raise the industry standard, we're able to build now good, solid relationships with the customers that we want. There's tons of work to go around. And that's the thing, is there's a lot of contractors, and our competition stuff has scarcity mindset.
Yep.
Yeah, how many bids we send out every year. We're going to lose some, we're going to win some, we're going to lose some are going to get tabled. But to be able to open your eyes and learn that it's not a dog eat dog world out there. It's like everybody can eat from their own plate.
It's a big plate, man.
It's a huge plate, and there's no way anybody could possibly fill it. So
yep.
Just kind of opening up people's eyes, instead of being focused on everybody else. Why don't you be focused on what your company's doing, what you can control, how you guys operate in the back, and then make yourselves better if you do want to truly scale.
Absolutely. I think there's different sectors for different types of companies, like you said, from new construction, commercial type stuff, to municipal work, reconstruction, private commercial, HOA,
Yep.
single family. There's just so much, and everyone is there. There's different experts in different areas as well, and so there's plenty to go around.
Yeah,
plenty to go around.
What I think would be fun is, we're just starting this app, or this podcast, excuse me, but to see where it takes us. And we want to be a resource for contractors, specifically coming in the tech space, but also on the other side, being a resource for our property manager customers, facility manager customers. I would love to bring on these kinds of people in different trades, whether they own the business, their help in management level, and get people's different perspectives, different takes, because it's not a one size fits all, but majority of these businesses are ran pretty much the same.
Yep.
But it's whether they're missing stuff or not.
Absolutely.
So I think it'd be fun to bring people on, and
I think so too.
Just see, where it goes. And,
Yep. What's crazy is, I think about our space in asphalt, concrete, paving. Now, within the tech world and applications and all these softwares that we're into building already, a lot of companies are in the mix of, okay, build them, sell them, build them, sell them, build them, sell them. You know, with NPP, we've gotten to the point where I'm like, man, this is becoming a really strong piece of our legacy. And seeing, you know, how technology plays through in the future, you know, with what I had mentioned earlier, you know, electric cars, self-driving cars, the equipment is starting to get to be smarter and smarter, so to speak.
Yep.
There's going to be some crazy stuff that we see in our lifetime. By the time we're getting ready to hand this thing down to the younger generation, and I would love for our company to be at the forefront of that, you know, leading the pack for that type of stuff. And I think that's one, you know, if we were going to say like that was going to be our legacy, I feel like that would be a big piece of what I want to accomplish in our time here.
Absolutely. And, you know, you and I have almost kind of opposite stories, especially, you know, I went to school for something that was not in construction. I did a ton of construction work coming up from high school through college. But after that, you know, my career was in exercise science is what I was supposed to go into, and I happened to land here. But you are truly a product of a contracting family. How long ago did your parents have a business, or how did that all start for you?
Yeah, no, I appreciate you asking. I was born in 87. My parents started Sealco Asphalt in 88.
Okay.
A small town north of Denver called Fort Collins. So that was primarily, you know, asphalt patching, some small paving, seal coating, and they got into the point where they were subcontracting some fair amount of concrete work as well. When I was younger, they just kind of instilled to me at a very young age, hey, you're going to be working. I used to race motocross, right? And they would tell me, if you're going to ride motocross, you're going to buy your own bikes because they're expensive.
Yeah, they are.
And so
I don't even know what a bike goes for. 10 grand, 20.
It was like, I think the one that I had was $2,500, and it took me all summer to work up enough money to be able to buy it.
Yep.
And you know, what they got me going through at a very young age was working for the family business. And so parking lot striping eventually grew to working on the crews, then running the crews. I ended up starting my own business at a pretty young age as well too. And I've lost it all too. You know, I lost it all in the 08-09 recession era. So we've had some humble beginnings, seen a little bit of significance along the way. But then they sold to another company out of the Midwest. And to be honest with you, man, that was probably one of the main reasons why we have been able to become the company that we are now. It was like a college experience for me. So I didn't go to college, but
the School of Hard Knocks.
Exactly, School of Hard Knocks. Got to learn business on a different level, and with a very forward-thinking company as well too. And so very grateful for those endeavors and that piece of my journey up to this point. So that's kind of how I got started, man.
Yeah, which is
the rest is history.
It's awesome. I love hearing your story too.
Yeah, man.
It's totally different. I mean, you said you would go to school in high school, then you go stripe parking lots after. So, you know, in high school, as a high school kid, you're able to afford a nice car, and you know, you're rolling into much better cars, but you paid for all that. You know what I mean?
Look, man, I didn't ditch a whole lot in high school, and if I did ditch, I would usually bring somebody who was with me who was ditching, and we would go work a little bit early, and then we'd make some money together, and you know, I'd pay him cash. And I didn't really know how to run a business. I was just it was a high school hustle, man.
Yeah.
So
I love it.
Yeah, man.
Dude, and not a lot of kids nowadays in high schools, they have jobs, but to be your own kind of entrepreneur in a sense is pretty amazing.
Yeah, thanks.
I'm having a little brain fog what my question was. So I think a big part too, and what kind of brought me up to that, is there's a younger generation coming down. And I know for me, from my college experience, it's like, I had a great time, but 0% am I using my degree, and there's tons of other people who are in the same boat. And even if their family didn't start off as contractors, you know, going to college or becoming a contractor, going to trade school was never even a thought.
No.
So, more and more, whatever
Or it was almost
trades
like
are in.
frowned upon to
It
a degree,
was.
right? Like it was like, that's good, but it's not good enough.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of get that consensus at times from when you're talking about it, right?
Yeah, like the idiots go to trade school.
Sure.
What I mean? When realistically, these trades in the industry, like whether you're a plumber and HVAC tech, whatever, you can make some great money. You can make a great living by doing that and not spending, X amount of money going to whatever college you want for some degree, which now a bachelor's degree, in my opinion, is pretty much like a wash.
Sure.
That's like a high school degree, so it doesn't, or a high school diploma, so it doesn't do much. So, hopefully we can put a perspective on contracting is a cool space to be in. It's a lot of hard work, a lot of logistics go into it, but if you really want to have, number one, job security, because it will never stop or slow down.
Yep.
And you want to build a good life for yourself, your family, contracting is a cool trade, or there's plenty of cool trades in the contracting space that you can jump into.
I agree 100%, and I really like that, and I would absolutely co-sign that. Raising awareness for the younger generation, even through Instagram, we get younger people that write us all the time, hey, what you're doing is so cool, like, what do you do?
Yeah.
I'm like, man, you can do the same thing. It takes a lot of grit, perseverance, but grabbing people from a younger generation and letting them know, hey, college is absolutely an option here, but there are other options as well too. What works for some people isn't always necessarily what works for others.
Yeah.
I wasn't a great student in school, but you learn through life lessons differently, and so you add the two of those together at times, and then you get something special.
Absolutely, and really, like, no college degree will teach you real life, real world experience like actually being in the industry.
Yeah.
So, get to work as fast as you can. Going over before we start, we're probably going to have another episode on this, because obviously we started Spot on Site, which was a mobile app to help our clients and ourselves perform better, provide better presentations, and then manage our projects a lot better. How, in your opinion, has technology helped National Paving Partners or our contracting business?
Yeah, great question. So National Pavement Partners, when we started it, our differentiator was we're going to enhance the customer experience tenfold. From a project management standpoint, they're going to get better communication than they've ever gotten. They're going to get daily updates. They're going to get photos, videos to accompany everything. Number one, to document what they're buying from us. But number two, so they can have a story to pass along to ownership. Turns out it's also a great selling tool along the way. So it boosts sales. You spend a lot of time on the front end building something nice for the customer, and then it takes a little bit more steps along the way to keep up with. But what we're doing is we're creating a storyline. And I think in any business that's important, right?
100%.
So we're building stuff, we're creating stories through documentation of photos, videos, etc. And then also, it's kind of a receipt for what they're getting from us. They're getting hey, here is your project. Here's what happened at the beginning. Here's the change orders that occurred, and then here's the final product for you, which is great for when they go to pass the building along, or they go to sell it, or ownership wants to know why it's important that they spend X amount of money on a capital project or a capital expenditure. It's very easy for them to pass along.
Yeah.
And so that's what differentiated NPP and what spun up us building Spot on Site, because we were using so many tools to try to accomplish this.
We were. It was
it was crazy.
3, 4, 5, and then just the amount of time it took. I mean, because we pump out a ton of estimates weekly, monthly, and annually. So we're like, dude, it's working because our clients love the presentation. They see the project from, like you're saying, cradle to grave.
Yeah.
But it's making us a lot better and a lot more efficient, especially like handing over work orders to our guys, we're not missing areas as much. So,
Yep.
you know, I would agree with you that the technology aspect of this, of the contracting space, is much needed, and it's helped us tenfold.
For sure.
So,
for sure.
you know, and that's why we decided to jump into it and actually take it to market, because we used it for a year internally.
Yep.
Then we took it to market this February 7th, because we're like, dude, if we are seeing such success from this, we know, number one, other contractors can do it. Not every contractor wants to go out there and scale and build a huge business. Some don't. But the ones that do and want to elevate their presence, their game, raise their standard, they need to start getting into tools like this, or whatever tool is going to make them look better on the forefront, to give their customers a better experience. But we also noticed that our customers, property managers, were doing, they're almost like contractors in a sense that they're like dinosaur aged when it came to showing us work. You know, how many times have we gone out meetings? I guarantee every estimator can vouch for this, to where they have like a piece of paper, or, you know, their email that they sent you, and then pictures on their phone, and said, hey, here's what I need to get done. Then we're like, all right, so where is it at? Then they try to explain it over an email, or we have to meet them on site for them to walk us to what needs to get done. It's just one pothole or one blowout, or
Yep.
you know, the small stuff that people waste their time on to show people is what we're like, okay, there's a gap right there.
Huge. I mean, you mentioned it yourself. How many times, and I remember, gosh, man, on my sales calls, like being, you know, early 20s and stuff, like going through these walkthroughs with clients, and they're taking pictures. We're looking at asphalt, but they're taking pictures of shrubs. They're taking pictures of, oh my gosh, you know, this light needs to be replaced. Man, this sprinkler line's out. And so they're taking pictures, or they're writing notes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, these guys have a lot on their plate. How do they keep it all straight? And I think the answer is, I don't think there was any particular way or any set tool that they had to do it.
No.
And so, you know, their way of documenting things needed to be done the same way that we were trying to give them stuff back. And so it was a great tool that we've realized that our clients actually use and they like as well.
Absolutely. It's like we're standing across the fence staring at each other from different angles. They need to use it for a reason. We need to use it for a reason. But the goal for why you need to use it is to get your properties maintained. We want to do work for them. They want us to do work for them to fix the issues. So, you know, having a tool that they can hopefully all talk on one day is the end goal. But
100%.
That's why.
And you know, I've got a close friend of mine. She works for a very well-known multifamily property management group. They lost their property to another property management group specifically because of so many complaints about maintenance issues that were not being documented or taken care of. And she said specifically, it was stuff that we were trying to get done, but the ball was getting dropped from point A to point C. People were fumbling. Now, how much money did that cost them? Millions.
Yeah.
Millions and millions of dollars. And so having a tool that's so inexpensive to be able to help them ensure their relationships and documentation brings this, it's worth its weight in gold.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, we'll get more and more into it as episodes progress, because we got tips and pointers and things we
all
see
over.
that drive us nuts. So we're ready to get it out. But I think this was a good intro to what's to come. You know, we're gonna try to pump these out pretty frequently.
Yeah,
we'll figure out a schedule for it. You know, we'll make time for it.
I've got some good people we can have on here.
Absolutely, I'd love to. And you know, when we post this, if you guys are a contractor, property manager, someone even in the tech space that wants to come on, we'd love to have you guys on. Just shoot us a DM, comment on us, and then we'll reach out and try to set up some time.
Yeah,
we're trying to get all perspectives, but again, the goal is to raise the industry standard.
Absolutely. If you guys have any questions or any requests on topics, let us know. And we'd love to chat about it with you guys.
We want to be a resource.
Yep.
It is.
Yep.
So
love it.
Cool.
I'm looking forward to it.
I am too, man. Asphalt and Apps, episode 1. Check us out. National Pavement Partners and Spot On Site. And we'll see you guys next time.
All right.